Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a story time video. My first story time video I did about my haircut that I hated was, it's hilarious how popular it is. Like, people are loving that video for whatever reason, I really don't know. But I decided, hey, it was popular, it was a popular video, let me do another one. What's a crazy story I can think of that's happened? And something just happened. So I'm going to tell you about this job I got that I pretty much quit in 2 days. It was horrible, it was traumatizing, so let me tell you what happened. For starters, just to give you a little bit of background, I graduated school in December 2015, so about 5 months ago. And so this job that I, quit in 2 days, this wasn't Rita's Water Ice. This was like a career job. No, disrespect or whatever if you work at Rita's Water Ice, but you know what I'm trying to say. So basically, I graduated 5 months ago. I thought, I'm going to get a job right out of school. I'm going to get the second job I applied to. I'm so good in interviews. It'll be great. My internship was so great that I had last summer. I nailed that interview. I got it. It was wonderful. It's easy peasy. Let's do this. But pretty much that did not happen at all. It took me forever. In the meantime, I had been nannying, just like babysitting for this amazing family who I love so much. But I had just been doing that for money while I was kind of looking for my career. So I applied for a lot of different jobs. I had a few interviews. They went well, but I just didn't end up getting them. I had one that was even in New York, and I realized that I just did not want to do New York at all. I would love to, at this point I don't know anymore just because I have had a taste of the industry now, but at the start of me applying to jobs, I really wanted to do something that was connected, beauty and PR connected somehow, or beauty and writing connected, whatever. So I applied to this PR agency, but the thing is, I'm in Philly and all that stuff is in New York and LA usually, which I said I had a job interview in New York and wasn't feeling it. I'm not just gonna move to a city I don't want to be in, and LA is across the country, so it's just not in the cards for me to do that right now. But I applied to this agency, PR agency that, had beauty clients, and it was very close to my home. Not very close, but it was in driving distance to my home, so I could actually apply to it. And I was really, it was a rare find because there's not a lot of, jobs like this out there. They're usually in New York and they're usually in LA. So I applied to that actually in November before I even graduated. And they ended up getting back to me wanting to interview me in April. So I guess a spot had opened up in those, 6 months in between. And, they saw my application and my resume from before and they wanted to interview me. So I went, I had the interview, it went well, I ended up getting the job. And I was so excited for this. I was so happy. I was so proud of myself. And, I went in with the best possible attitude. Like, I really wanted to do well. Like, I was ready. It's not like I graduated school and 3 minutes later got a job. So after 5 months of searching for a job, like, you want a job, you're ready. Not to mention this was considered my dream job, you know what I mean? Combining two of my passions. So I was really, really excited to get started. Like, I couldn't wait for the first day. So the basic gist of things is that it was so terrible when I got there, and I'll tell you a few reasons why. Overall, I think that they kind of just didn't really have, their shit together in a way. Now, I'm definitely not, Albert Einstein, but I'm no idiot either. You come off one way on YouTube or whatever, but I went to school, I did really well in school, I was on the dean's list, I'm smart. I had an amazing internship last summer. I'm also a freelance writer, I do that remotely, for Huffington Post and Philadelphia Magazine, I'm a ghostwriter, so I'm not like some idiot that's just like incapable of having a job, just to throw that out there. So these people basically just kind of, I arrived and I had to use my own computer, which, it kind of sucked. And I was like, whatever, like, I'll just deal with it. It's fine, I'll just deal with it. So, but as soon as I kind of sat down at my desk and started to download Microsoft Office, downloaded a hand-me-down email address from a girl that had previously worked there who still had an inbox full of like 4,000 emails, opened a million tabs at once and had all this stuff and had to download Dropbox and have an external drive. Once I kind of realized that was happening, I was like, ooh, I don't like that this is my personal computer. I feel like I have a MacBook Air that, MacBook Air is not a freaking cheap computer. It's like $1,000 computer. I'm also not rich. I'm not like bringing in the dough. So for me to have spent money on that, like it was a huge investment for me. It's like, you know, I feel very like attached, like it's my baby. And I really didn't like that it was taking up all this space, especially it's like the least space amount that you can get on a computer. And I remember one time my storage was full and my shit started acting crazy. So I was like, ooh, I don't really like this, but whatever. Also, in having your own computer, you know, there was just, I felt like I didn't want to bring home my personal computer at the end of the day and like try to use it and have work emails popping up and have tabs open still from yesterday or whatever. Like just little petty things like that that bothered me. Obviously, it's not the end of the world, but things that I didn't like. You know, they wanted me to have the email on my phone and said you may have to send some emails on Saturday, Sunday, whatever. And okay, maybe sometimes I get that, but what was kind of sold to me in the interview was for this stuff to be very occasional, but when I got there and the vibes that I was feeling, it seemed like everybody was, this was not an occasional thing. Like, what is this hair? Like, why does this look like that? It seemed like everybody was working way hard, way overtime, so I really wasn't into that. I need a work-life balance. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just not passionate about anything enough to like give up my life for a job. It's just like I don't care. Like I will get so defensive about that. You know, I need to have some time to do my laundry. I need to have time to watch Netflix. I'm not going to be working 24/7, which leads me to the next thing. The hours at this job, which when you work in PR, you're not your traditional 9 to 5. It's like 9 to 6. It can be 6:30 sometimes, whatever. So it can be a little bit longer hours. But the first night I was there until, 7 o'clock, 9 to 7. Also, nobody took lunch. You got your lunch and you ate at your desk. Like, I really was not down with that. Like, I just did not like that. Like, I think I was also very much treated amazingly at my internship last summer, so I was kind of spoiled, but whatever, I'll get to that. So yeah, nobody had lunch. I was there till 7 o'clock the first night, and that's with me like leaving and deciding like I wasn't even done all the work she had given me. Like I didn't even know what I was doing, but I was like, okay, it's 7 o'clock now. Like I'm done. I'm gonna make this adult decision and I'm going to leave. Next day I was there till 7:30 or 7:45, from 9 to 7:45. Like I was just so not feeling that. I really didn't think that was fair. I was like, okay, I get 6 o'clock, that's fine. But also I was kind of a far drive. And I was the first to leave on both nights. At 7 o'clock and 7:45, the whole rest of the office was still there. Some girls are down for this. I'm not down for this. I will never be down to stay at work till 7:45. I also had my taste of that with Sephora. But let alone, Sephora's shifts were always normal. They would always be 8 hours at the most, 9 hours, but that 1 hour for your hour lunch break. But this was just a continuous day of full work. Our brains don't work like that. You know what I mean? That's how people make mistakes. If doctors work all these shifts, they start to mess up because our brains are not wired to be sitting down working, and producing for 15 hours. And I basically spoke to some of the other girls in the office too, and they kind of hinted that the reason that the girl before me who had this position left was because she was so burnt out. She also lived kind of far away. The hours got to her, just the overwhelming aspect of the job in general. So that kind of scared me, but basically the third aspect to this, so it was kind of, the hours, the distance, the laptop, whatever, but the worst thing was they just really were not, didn't know how to train me. Like, they literally, I started and they said, here's this, go to work. And the other girls, were very sweet and very helpful if I had to ask them a question. And I get to a point that you can, you can only learn so much by training, and then you have to do to learn. But I had no training, no formal anything. I sat down at my computer and thought, let me do some research today. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be proactive. I'll learn about my clients, whatever. Like, this is what I'm going to do to prepare myself for this job. But I didn't even get to research my clients for more than 3 minutes until I was, given this task and this task and this task and this task that I did not know what I was doing. And they even told me that they had never... that they always usually hire from interns. So they would have a team of 6 interns, and they would basically, you know, just pull from their interns and hire as they needed through interns. So their interns kind of started and got to kind of creep along. But I was kind of a test. They had never hired anybody before out that's never been in their agency, let alone I've never been in any PR agency before because I'm entry level. So they really did not know what they were doing in their training. They're a very small agency. You could tell that just by like the office. The space was very like small and kind of like dinky in a way. And they were paying me like pennies pretty much, which, you know, whatever. That wasn't my worry. I wasn't worried about the salary. Like, you get your feet wet, you earn it. You go up and you earn more money with more experience. So that was fine with me. But just the way that I had zero training, I was thrown right into it. I can't even describe. Just something in my head after that first day, I was like, whoa, this is scary. Okay, you ever feel like you have to cry and you want to cry and you want to cry, but you can't because you know that like you're not in a situation where you can cry. So basically, I felt like that all day the first day. I went home as soon as I got in the car, you know, I drove away a little bit and literally called my mom on the phone and burst into tears and was like, I hate this job. It's horrible. I'm so stressed out. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? And I was just like so upset. But needless to say, I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go home. I took a Benadryl to help me go to sleep. I took it at like literally the minute I got home at like 8:30, went to bed, you know, right at like 9 o'clock, so early. And I was like, I'm gonna go in there tomorrow, new day, new attitude, let's get it done. It was just the first day, like, you can do this. Needless to say, the second day was even worse. It was like more thrown at me. I didn't know what was going on. No training, no nothing, just whoa, quick, do this. Oh, by the way, can you do this, and this before you leave? Which it's 6:30 at night and I have to do 18 more things before I leave. I literally almost had a panic attack. I could feel myself like almost faint when I was told, like, okay, you have to do this and you have to call these people and you have to write this email to 400 people, you know, in a half hour or whatever. Because I was thinking in my head, I'm leaving soon. It is 6:30 at night. I'm leaving. And I was sitting there chugging water. I was like, just get it done and then go home. Just get it done and then you can leave and then you can think about things. Just get it done. Like, I was in survival mode. So I went there Monday. So that was Tuesday. That I was, you know, the second day was even worse. At some point in Tuesday in the day, I talked to my boss and I was like, hey, you know, I was here last. I wanted to set a precedent about, hey, I'm not staying here till 7:30 every night. We didn't agree to this. I was thinking in my head 9 to 6. That's what you guys kind of told me. You said occasionally later. So I didn't think occasionally meant every day, especially because the girls told me that they're usually there till 7:30, you know, 8 o'clock. Like, hell no, I'm not doing that. Never in my life. Ever. I will be a farmer before I work 9 to 8:30 or 8, whatever. Either one. Not happening. I'll be a farmer. So I basically sat down with my boss kind of casually, but, you know, and just, like I said, wanted to set a precedent and say, hey, you know, I was here a little later yesterday, and it kind of, the conversation morphed into me saying, you know, could I maybe come in a little earlier? I was like, I do need some work-life balance, you know. If I come in a little earlier, so can I guarantee to leave by 6:30? Because I just, you know, I live kind of far and I have things to do in my life other than, you know, work for pennies at this job. So she told me she would talk to, you know, the other manager and whatever and get back to me. But so at the end of Tuesday, I knew, like, I was done. I was like, holy hell. I just got a career job after 5 months and I literally am going to have to quit. I was like, I can't even believe this. I'm going to have to quit this job after I've been searching for jobs for 5 months. And I know how hard it is out there. And, you know, I have student loans to start paying back soon and I'm going to have to quit this job because I hate it. I hated it. So I went there Wednesday morning and I thought, I'm gonna work today and then tomorrow morning I'm gonna like call them or email. Like, I don't know. I knew I wasn't finishing the week. I knew it was not happening. So I went in there Wednesday morning. I wasn't there for 5 minutes before the two supervisors pulled me in the office and kind of said in so many words, you know, hey, we're thinking, you know, this boss told me about the conversation you had yesterday. You know, we're thinking this might not be a good fit for you. I guess they could also kind of feel my vibes that I was like overwhelmed and not feeling it and not liking it. And they're like, we don't know if this is a good fit. Like, what do you think? Are you on the same page? And I was like, absolutely. I was like, I'm on the same page. No, I'm so sorry that, but this is just how I feel. I didn't realize it would be this way, and da 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 da. And it went as amicable as it could possibly have gone. They were really nice about it. You know, they told me they would pay me for the days that I did work. They told me they could give me a character reference if I needed one. So they were really nice. They definitely weren't, you know, rude about it or anything, and they were understanding. And I was appreciative that they were understanding as well, because I didn't want to like come off as like lazy or a loser. I didn't care or whatever, because, you know, I really, the only reason I did this is because the deep like turmoil I was feeling, that I just couldn't do this job, like could not do it. But you know, it's not my fault, you know what I mean? It's 50-50, and I think the fact that they had never you know, had, you know, a new employee before besides their intern. Beauty and fashion is a really intense industry overall in general. Everything's quick, fast-paced, competitive, whatever. And, you know, PR can be later hours anyway, so just kind of combining them. And also the fact that they were such a small agency, they just really didn't have any type of official training program or even any type of training. That is definitely on them. And that is one thing that I would strongly suggest to them if they ever were like interested in my feedback or anything, you know, just the way that there was no training. Like, I am a smart person, and if you had given me more direction or even like a little pat on the back at any point to say like, okay, you did this right, or just slow down with what they had given me, like it was just way too much. And it's just like, it takes a really special type of person, I guess, to kind of thrive in that environment. But it definitely was not and is not me. So that is pretty much my story of my crazy job disaster. And I don't know if anything like that has happened to any of you guys, please let me know and leave it in the comments, because I would love to hear, you know, that I'm not alone basically, and that I'm not a big loser. No, I know I'm not, but it was just crazy and it was traumatizing, and I'm just like, what am I gonna do? I was like, do I even want to work in PR now? I don't even know. So I'm on a little bit of a quarter life crisis right now. But you know what? I'm positive. I'll get through it. I'm gonna get a job, and I will tell this story to my grandchildren when they're feeling stressed out and they're feeling, you know, they have a similar situation or something. My dad told me that something similar happened to him. So yeah, that's really all I have. Who knows how long this video is gonna end up being. I just rambled on for 20 million hours. But I'm gonna take this makeup off and I'm going to go outside for a run. And I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye.